What's up, everybody? Straw Hats Are Cool here, and we are back again with another video. We are continuing our investigation into the OP04 format. Today we are going to be taking a look at Queen. Queen is one of the new leaders from set 4. This is our first blue-yellow leader. He is a 5,000 power 4-life leader with the effect Dawn 1 when attacking. If your hand and life total is 4 or less, draw 1 card. If you have a cost of 8 or higher character, you may place up to 1 card from the top of your deck on top of your life instead of drawing 1 card. So, essentially, the idea of this deck is to, between your hand and life, be it 4 or less cards, so that you can use Queen to heal every single turn. So, this is a pretty unique deck in the way that it plays, but it is also pretty straightforward. It's not the hardest deck to play, I don't think, but I think playing it well does require you to know your matchups. So I've been having a lot of fun with this deck. I'm not sure how competitive it is, but I'm definitely going to try and make it work. So this is the list I'm working with right now. If you've been looking at other Queen builds, this one is basically identical to most of the ones I've seen running around, except currently I'm only running 2 copies of Pound. Most decks are running 4, but I'm choosing to run 2 copies of Corona. I really like being able to stack my deck early, as well as in the late game. It does give you a way to stack your deck, which can essentially allow you to control what you're healing into your life. Sometimes when you're at 10 Dawn, you can play Kato and Corona in the same turn, and use that to control what you're healing into your life in the following turns, which has been really powerful. One thing I'm thinking about changing, though, is trimming back maybe 1 copy of Soga King to get a 3rd copy of Pound in. But I've been liking this build right now. So real quick, just to run down, 2 copies of Mihawk, strong, removal, and a big body, which helps us use our leader effect. 4 copies of Dofi. This is what we want to see in our opening hand, ideally. Again, like Perona, lets us stack our deck as well as being a blocker. Kaya's 2k counter of choice. Really like Kaya. Sometimes when we stack our deck, it's a little clogged, but we don't want to bottom it. So we can just put the cards that we don't want first on top, and then we can just cycle them out with Kaya. Soga King is great to play on the turn before we drop our big bodies, remove a character, and like Kaya can also help us filter our hand. Boa is a trigger blocker. We play a lot of cards with trigger, as we will be healing a lot with this deck. Katakuri, just great card for this deck. Removal for our opponent's board. And in this deck, we don't really mind giving our opponents the additional life. We're playing a grindy game, and our game plan is just to stay alive until we can keep ourselves at a perpetual state where we're healing every single turn at least once. But it also does allow us to heal ourselves in some scenarios. There have even been times where my opponent has something on board that could KO one of my triggered blockers, so I'll just heal that back into life to protect it, and then when my opponent hits into me next, I will be able to activate the blocker. Next up is one of the best cards from set 4. Definitely going to be one of the more expensive alts in my opinion, because I think every yellow deck is going to be running 4 of this card. It's a 2k counter that has trigger. One of your opponent's leaders or characters cannot attack. So when you trigger him out of life, it just completely negates 1 attack, which is absurdly powerful. Think like Red Hawk or Fiery Doll, the trigger to give minus 10,000 power. This is very similar to that in that it's almost assuredly stopping 1 attack. I mean, this is for sure stopping 1 attack. There are some very niche scenarios where your opponent could still attack after a Red Hawk trigger, but very similar in what that does. 4 copies of Sanji. This is a new blocker from set 4 as well. 4 cost, 5,000 power. It's just a blocker, but it's got the trigger that we're familiar with on Sparrow and Cracker that lets us play it out of life at the cost of 1 card from hand. So very powerful card. Again, another one sometimes will attack with it and then heal it back on top with Katakuri. Really good. Honestly, the fact that you need to trash really helps with Queen, because in scenarios where you do cycle it with your Katakuri, it can help you filter out some of the dead cards that you can't counter with, so that you can still remain at a low hand and life size. So really like the Sanji. 2 copies of Monde. This is a new 2K counter from set 4 as well. Really, you could play just about any other blue or yellow 2K counter. I'm playing this one because we have a lot of cards with trigger, and there might be some niche scenario where we need to get past a small blocker or something of the sort, and this allows us to rest one of our opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less by trashing 1 card with trigger. So definitely think it's a good card. Next up is another new blocker from set 4. This is Pound, 3 cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter, blocker. And on KO, we can place one of our opponent's cost 3 or lower characters at the top or bottom of their life. On paper, this doesn't sound very good, but in testing, it's been a really strong effect, which is why I say I kind of want to up it back to 3, maybe even 4. Like I said, we don't really mind. We don't really care about how much life our opponent's at. Once we get to our late game and we just keep cycling, our opponent can only do so much each turn to deal with our big threats. So once we kind of get into the position we want, we can slowly whittle our opponent down, and there's not a lot they can do about all the big bodies we're going to have on the board. So healing our opponent has actually been okay, and it doesn't even open up the door for us to KO bigger things with Yamato. So that's the next card we're getting into. Another new card from set 4, 9 cost, 9,000 power, with the on play to KO up to one of our opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the life that both you and your opponent have. So for example, if you have 1 life and your opponent has 4, you can KO a 5 cost character. And then if you're at 1 or less life, you can also heal with this card. There have been times where I've even been able to KO a 7 or 8 cost power or 8 cost card with Yamato and still gotten the heal off because of things like Pound and Katakuri. I often try and deny my opponent of life early game just because I don't want them to draw anything good, and once I'm in control, I don't really care of what, what's on their board. It's very hard to deal with these 9 cost, 8 cost, high power characters. There's not a whole lot of removal that can deal with them outside of Red Rock, which we'll get into here shortly. Same thing as Boa here. Brule is just a trigger blocker. So 3,000 Worlds running 2 copies. I think 2 has felt good. It's a card I like to have in the early game just to deal with their threats as they're developing. Because once we get to the late game, we don't usually have time to play it, which is why I'm only running 2. But the trigger can also still be good. And then last up is Red Rock. This is just removal for anything, as well as a really powerful trigger to bottom a 4 cost or lower character. So great card. Again, we can play it the turn before we play characters like our Katakuri, our Yamato, our Mihawks, to clear whatever our opponent plays, and then we can just kind of continue to clear our opponent's board with our big characters and start healing every turn. So that's the deck breakdown. I've really been liking this. For this week, we're going to be trying something new. So I'm going to upload this video with maybe a game or 2, and then in the following days I will upload some more videos with this deck, but I might make some modifications, and I'll be tracking my win rate throughout the week. And then at the end, we'll kind of take a look at what we've changed and what matchups have felt good and what matchups have felt bad. And then just going to give my overall thoughts of the deck. So this is the deck list. Let's get into some games. All right, we've got a game against Yamato. Yamato likes to go first, but I like to go second, so I'm just going to choose to go second. Hand seems fine to start. Hopefully we'll draw into our top end. So we'll just start by passing. Next turn we can play pound. Hack for 6. We're going to be swinging 8. Yeah. No trash. Boa. A little more pressure on our opponent now. Ooh, the Dofi's very good. Let's go. Just attack with the Sanji. Just in case they have anything like a Thunderbolt. Well, put 1 here, attack 6. Probably give us a 2k. They do just take. Glare Dofi. Gonna keep for now. But there is still no top end. Let's draw here, draw there. And then we'll reevaluate how we play the next Doflamingo here in a turn or two. And we'll pass. Definitely need to find our top end, so we might need to just start cycling our hand with Kaya. Got 4 of them coming up, so should be able to find one of our top end cards before it's too late. Are going to be seeing a Pudding come down to grab their own Sanji. Might see them drop that down. And they're going to be swinging 5 life. I am just going to drop the Sanji. So we're just going to bottom the Sanji. And then go 5 again. They don't have any bond on their leader, so their effect isn't active. So I think I'm just going to swing 5 again. With the Dofi, if they want to invest into clearing these, I'm okay with that for right now. And we'll go 6. We've only got the Pudding on board right now. We're not taking a life, so haven't triggered anything out of life. Got 2 blockers. If they're attacking into this rather than my life, it's the same thing as blocking. So they're going to play the 7k Yamato. In the set 4 format, I'm not sure why not just run a Randolph instead. Searchable off of your Pudding. We could just go ahead and remove, which honestly seems okay. So we'll do that. And they do have a Dawn, so we need to start swinging 6. Next turn we can play Doflamingo and Pound. Start digging for our top end. See, next turn we should draw Kaya that's coming up. don't quite remember. There were 2 Kayas, I think a Capone. So next turn, we can play the blockers. And yellow doesn't really have any outs to dealing with the blockers, so once they're there, probably get to block with them. They do have the rush Katakuri. So extra attack there. That's fine by me. They are going to be swinging in with the pudding. It's fine. I don't think I mind triggering that. Trash the... Maybe I'm getting a little too ballsy here, but... It's fine. And then we will block. So let's drop the Doflamingo. There's one of our top end cards. So we definitely want to draw into that. We are in range of healing this turn, so let's put the red rock on top. Draw into the Yamato. Heal the Capone. So I think this is right. Then we can play the pound. I think I like that. So if we play the pound, that leaves us 4 gone. Let's start with 6 here. I do let it go. So now let's just go. Oh, we're not healing because we don't have a big body. So the red rock on top. They did just let the Karakuri go, so I guess we're fine drawing into that. Honestly, I'm just going to attack the pudding. Do that. Shouldn't be any way for them to kill us with all these blockers. They got like double Thunderbolt, still leaves a blocker and a life. Interesting. Just going to do that. And then I can actually heal twice here. No target. Then I've got some blockers now. 2k. Just gonna pass. Can't attack with my Sanjis anymore. Since natural 6k. Next turn. Maybe we just end up red rocking the Lin. Let's see me Kumurosaki. On play, give up 20 or leader characters +1 for the turn. Interesting. So we're gonna swing 9. I don't remember what's stacked. So I'm gonna block that one. Just in case it's something I can play. I want to have room to play it. 7, 10. We can take a 10. Just a Kaya. 9. We need to play some things here. Thin our hand out. I think we will do that. Can play Kaya. Filter out those two. And then we will swing 8. Heal. And we can swing 9. They are leaving Dawn up, so maybe they have like the arrow. So if they have the arrow, I think they would have used that there. Do trigger the Thunderbolt to KO one of the Sanjis. Which is good for them. So now they need to have Sovereignty or an arrow plus 1 card. They're just going to use 2 2Ks. Feeling pretty good. They've got no board. Not going to see anything like a 10 drop. Do see the Katakuri. And putting our pound back in. And I'm just going to take it. Play the blocker. Yeah. Do I want to heal? If I do, I can still just play the Amande. Also could just try and go for game. But let's stack it. Draw this. Or heal it. We heal, we draw. We heal, we draw, we heal. Let's start with a 6K swing with the Sanji. And we've got 6 Dawn left. So they are going to use the arrow. Let's just go. Can we lock it up? Well, maybe not. Let's go. 9. They take. They do get a blocker. So I'm okay here to just play that over. And then this allows us to heal and forces the block still. Yeah, they're just going to wrap it up there. So, good games to my opponent. We were really just able to keep their board in check at the beginning, and then they weren't. It was by the time they were able to establish anything, it was a little too late. So, got to stay at a healthy life total that whole game, and we know there's some good triggers in there. So, pretty clean win for us. Alrighty, we've got a game here against Newgate. Newgate is definitely still a powerful deck in the upcoming format. We'll choose to go second. I think they generally like to go second. Pretty good start for us. We can dig, stack the next couple draws. Don't have any 2Ks though. There's one. Let's go ahead and play the Corona. We can keep that. So draw that into that, into that. I think this is good. We can again reorder next turn if there's if the next card's a good one. And we'll just end there. Depending on what they do here, I may even just play Wrestling 7. Mihawk will be good. Honestly, might be better to just play the Brule right now. And then save that for next turn. Potentially play both of them next turn. We're going to 2K that one. Could see Marco. KO the Brule. In which case, yeah, maybe I should have played the Dofi. Now, do I just bottom Marco? Seems fine. Yeah. No attack, but definitely should have played the Doflamingo last turn. Kind of forgot about the Marco. So next turn, we should have a Katakuri coming up. Let's counter 2K while we can. I hope they play. They're gonna play a. It's fine with me. Can just. The next card's a Kata as well. Honestly, it'd be better tempo, I think, to play the Soga King. And we can still. Well, I guess attacking doesn't really matter. So do we just play the Katakuri? Yeah. And that can go. So if they draw, or if they have Newgate, which is a 4-0 still. We'll go. I'm still not used to playing in a format with 4 Newgate legal. Currently, we are restricted to just 1 copy. So they would have played that first, I think, so we might be in the clear. Unless they just forgot. If they play the Newgate. Okay, they've got Ace. Ace is great. We can play. Do that. I feel like I just drop everything here. That way, I can play Mihawk and heal. So let's go draw Dawn, play Mihawk bottom, swing 6, heal. We don't have any blockers, which could be problematic. If they're at 0. Let's hope they play another big thing. Like if they try and attack this, need at least 9, which only leaves 7. If they have another ace, that would suck. They do have another ace, so that sucks. But we can just heal that into their life. We're gonna have to let that go. Use a trigger. Okay. Let's. It's a little annoying because we heal. the ace. They get like a free hit. But I think that's kind of where we're at. Yeah. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna attack here, heal, probably take. If they don't take, that's because I'm not going to attack with the Mihawk. They're gonna counter. I'm just gonna pass. So they could have a Newgate. If they do, we'll block. So they're just swinging 7. I'm actually gonna keep that in my hand right now. Just in case they play anything big. They've got Atmos and another Atmos. We got 2 red rocks. Let's play here. We'll trash 1. So let's swing 8. And then we'll swing 8. Swing. I'm gonna leave the Mihawk active because we know they've got the ace in hand. And if they play the ace, they should be able to clear both. Because they could go like 7, 7, 8. So they're gonna go for board. Don't think they can win this turn. No trigger. Maybe I should have blocked. No way they can get 2 hits in. So we are going to block that one just in case they've got like a rush Luffy. Maybe that's what they were going for. So they could ace. Clear here. Just gonna play an Atmos. Play small blocker. Let's play a little annoying. My hand's not low enough to heal off leader. But we are gonna kill the chopper, heal. We'll swing 6 at Atmos. They let it go. Good. Atmos. 8 at life. Not having this could be bad. Not being able to heal might ruin it for us. Depending on what's in our life, though, we should be okay. So we're gonna swing 7. I think we have to block. Because if they go pull some sort of shenanigans, now they still need 3 attacks. So unless they're playing like Rush Zoro, no, we got Ace. So they are going to try and clear our board. But we've got a Yamato, a Mihawk that are going to be safe. So I think this one's just about wrapped up. Leaving 2 Dawn open. We can even stack our heals. Maybe a bit overkill, but better to be safe than sorry, right? Maybe they have another Red Hawk to kill our blocker. No. And if we go 10, that's 2 cards. And then we'll put the rest on. Yeah. And that will be the whole game. So far, I played a lot of games against Newgate, against one of my friends, and it's been pretty good so far. So GG's to my opponent. Very fun game. Like I was saying though, so far I've had a lot of success in the Newgate matchup. I need to get more testing against Zoro though, and it's hard to find Zoro players on the sim, surprisingly. They're everywhere at the higher level events, but I've been struggling to find them on the sim. So anyways, GG's to my opponents. Before we end today's video, do just want to quickly look at my win rate with the deck thus far. So I have played 35 games with Queen as of the time of this recording, or at least 35 games that I have kept track of. I have won 25 of them and lost 10. I have a 71.43% win rate. Everything's felt okay into this deck. You can see that my most losses are to Mono Blue Croc. I think all of the games that I lost were to one of my friends who I was playing with. Mono Blue Croc does have a lot of outs to bottoming our big bodies, so if they find the removal, it's very hard for us to keep up, especially when their 10-drop Kaito, the blue one, can bounce an 8 cost, so it can just remove the Katakuri, which is huge tempo for them. Also can see that I haven't beat a Katakuri yet, but I won't lie, I feel like those games I got a little unlucky, I won't lie. The one game my opponent had 3 big moms, and I still almost won. I was able to remove them with my red rocks, but the loss of life at the end just cost me the game. So I'm gonna have to get more games against Katakuri. Zoro and Law seem pretty 50-50. If it's a good player, they're going to know to almost exclusively swing for 5s a lot. And it's really hard for Queen to keep up with a lot of 5k swings. But the deck feels really good into the new Dofi deck and good into most of the other decks. Feels good into Rebecca. Rebecca seems free. I've only got 1 game there, but that's usually because they just scoop as soon as we get matched up. So I also can see I've done pretty well into Whitebeard. But so that's what we're rocking with. I'll probably do another Queen video soon, show off a couple more gameplay videos, and then re-evaluate the win rate and any changes I've made to the deck. But until then, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please do consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Got a lot more content planned in the near future. We'll really be back on the grind of tabletop games once OP04 is legal, and I've got a lot more sim gameplay. I want to do some more streams, so I hope you're looking forward to that. So again, thank you so much for watching, and with that, I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.